Hey guys, it's Rob here. Today, we're going over another area that was home to one of the first Pizza Time theaters, that being Citrus Heights, California. They were also home to one of two Cabaret Helens, and you'll get to see what that looked like later. As usual, I've gathered information from multiple different sources, which I'll be linking in the description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as in the next video, I'll be going over a location that had one of the last rocker stages. Anyways, let's get into the history of ShowBiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in Citrus Heights, California. In May of 1979, the Walter Pinkston Company filed a permit for an empty property at 7614 Greenback Lane. While this isn't labeled as being for the Pizza Time Theater, the time frame confirms that this was indeed the case. Another permit would be filed in November of that year to furnish the interior. On December 26, 1979, the 7614 Greenback Lane location would open as a Pizza Time Theater, opening with a shelf stage, the sixth location to have one, alongside the sixth set of Cyberamics. This opening date is confirmed in a small article from 3 days prior that states this was the opening date, and we also get some other info here, such as the fact that the location was 9,450 square feet, had 65 games and amusements, and seated 350 people. It also tells us that they had Dolly Dimples as their cabaret act. They would also open with another cabaret act, however, that being the Helen Cabaret Act. This location, alongside Huntington Beach, were the only ones to receive her, though Citrus Heights looked quite different to Huntington Beach's, which you'll see in a bit. We have a photo prior to 1981 that shows off their exterior, with the old Pizza Time Theater logo, as well as the now appearing signs, confirming that they had Sally Sachet at one point. Marquees are also visible below. We have multiple photos prior to 1982 that give us a look at the store, with these two showing off a couple of the rides the store had. This one shows off their Chuck walk around, being the standard one for the time. This one shows off part of their shelf stage, with Chuck and Jasper being the most visible, as well as the flag wavers. Finally, we get a photo of their Helen Cabaret Act, so let's go over the differences. The biggest differences are the beak shape, with it being a more basic shape, furred hands, and orange legs, with her not wearing boots like Huntington Beach's did. There's also no film backdrop, instead being a green curtain. This photo also shows her off, though doesn't really show anything new. By 1982, the Helen Cabaret Act would be removed, which we can gather from an article from that year, telling us that they still had Dolly at this point, and that they had also gotten the Beagles by this point. This combined with the lack of mention of Helen means she was probably gone by this point. It also tells us that every month, the location would replace 2 of their arcade games with new ones. We also get a photo of their Chuck walk around, being the standard one at the time. They also had increased to 84 games and rides by this point. We have an undated photo that shows off their Chuck, Jasper, and Munch walkarounds, which were all standard for the time. By September of 1983, the location would receive Helen as their permanent guest star, as every other location would. In late 1984, Citrus Heights would close as a result of Pizza Time Theater's bankruptcy, and an auction would be held on January 10, 1985 for the store's contents. We have a couple of photos from auction day, with the first showing off the Chuck and Helen bots, and the second showing Dolly Dimples. An article a day after the auction tells us what happened to some of the characters. Chuck, Munch, Pasquale, and Dolly Dimples would all be purchased by Sam Johnston, who would put them in the Fairy Tale Town Amusement Center. The Beach Bowsers, which the Beagles had presumably been retrofitted into since that's what they were called in this article, were sold to Bonnie Collins, who would retrofit them into lions and use them at a pizza restaurant called King Lion. We also get a photo that shows their exterior sign, which was still the original one, meaning they likely never received the 1981 remodel. As of November of 2025, the building appears to be a Smart Choice, a food mart. As for the fate of the bots, it's unknown what happened to any of them after they were removed from their respective park and pizza parlor. The 6251 Sunrise Boulevard location opened in the first week of August of 1983 as a ShowBiz Pizza Place, opening with the classic Rock-afire explosion. The original opening date was actually meant to be in June of that year, though it was delayed for an unknown reason. An article from October of 1983 tells us that the location was 20,300 square feet in size, which is huge for a ShowBiz, and that they had 80 games and rides. The store also appears to have been franchised, with this article telling us that the store was developed by Robert A. Cook. The first footage we get of the store comes from 1984, which gives us a look at the stage. It looks to be in great shape, with no clear issues I can see here. Notably, Beach Bear has his blonde hair, which is one of the only instances I've seen him have it in ShowBiz Pizza footage. In 1987, it appears that corporate purchased the store, as an ad from that time mentions that the location is under new management. In the late 80s, the Rock-afire explosion stage would be replaced with a rocker stage, though the location itself would not be remodeled. Footage from around 1990 gives us a look at the store, where we can see the showbiz stripes still intact, with these lights on top. Well, this definitely isn't a standard piece of Showbiz Pizza Place locations, so I'm assuming this was something from when they were a franchise store. We also get a look at a bit of the rides, as well as a look at the rocker stage, though since these are screenshots from the footage, the original footage is no longer available. I cannot assess their condition. We also have an undated photo of the stage, showing off the center portion of it. In the early 90s, the location received the 1986 remodel, changing the exterior to a Chuck E. Cheese pizza exterior, which you'll get to see later, painting all of the walls white, adding colored checkers, replacing older decor with newer decor, and adding windows to the showroom walls. They would also likely replace their rocker stage with a road stage around this time. 1994 footage gives us our first look at the road stage, where we see that it's in great shape, with no issues I can see with it. We also get to see their Chuck walk around here, being the 90s head in full tux attire. 1995 footage shows off the game room, where we get to see some of the games, some of the rides, the ball crawl, and the showroom, where we get glimpses of the stage, though we don't get a good look, so I can't assess their condition. We also get a look at their walk around again, being the 90s head with a red derby and the blue and white athletic attire. 1996 footage shows off their exterior this time, showing that they retrofitted the original Showbiz Pizza Place signage with the Chuck E. Cheese's pizza design. We can also see their marquees and red awning above the door. Going inside, we get a small look at the game room again, and we also get to see their showroom again, where the stage can be briefly seen. From the little I can see, the stage looks to be in good shape, with no clear issues. We also get to see their Chuck and Jasper walkarounds, with the Chuck one being the same one as before, and the Jasper one being the 90s version of the costume. By the late 90s, Citrus Heights would receive the Operation Thumbchuck remodel, receiving a Thumbchuck exterior, removing the colored checkers, adding newer decor to replace older decor, and adding the sky tubes. In the late 2000s, the location received the 2005 update to the Kolchak reconfiguration, painting some of the walls purple, adding newer decor to replace older decor, and tearing down the showroom walls and balcony seating. Notably, they would keep their exterior untouched. A photo from 2011 shows that Helen had kept her original road stage mask up to this point, which is pretty cool. We have a couple photos from 2012, one being of their Chuck walk around, being the standard Avenger one, and part of their stage, with Chuck being in full Avenger attire by this point. It's here that we get our first look at Citrus Heights' trademark Small Eyes Chuck, which was an aspect that plagued some of the newer cyberamic masks that were produced. 2014 footage shows the stage to be in good shape, with no clear issues I can see here. Chuck's cap was also gone by this point. By 2015, Citrus Heights would replace their road stage with the one stage from Rohnert Park, which had remodeled around that time. It's certainly an odd move given how late it was done, but the other unique thing about this installation is that they reused the road stage platform, which may make this a one-of-a-kind one-stage installation for that reason alone. They would also replace all of their bots with Rohnert Park spots, with the only remnants of the original bots being Chuck and Jasper's masks. We first see this one stage in 2017, where it's in worse shape than before, with Pasquale's left arm and at least one of Munch's head turns not working. Jasper's fret arm is also lower than it should be. Chuck also had received full Rockstar attire by this point. By 2018, the front of the text on the exterior would be swapped out with a red version, similar to the Cool Chuck reconfiguration text, though the original Operation Thumbchuck mounting would be kept. By 2020, the sky tubes and toddler zone would be removed. We have footage of the stage from that same year, which shows that they're in similar shape to before, with Pasquale's left arm struggling to work, and Jasper's strumming hand not working. 2021 footage shows the stage to be in a similar shape still, with Pasquale's right arm and Chuck's left arm not working. 2022 footage shows the stage to be in better shape, with no clear issues I can see. 2023 footage shows it to be in a bit of worse shape, with Pasquale's left arm and Jasper's strumming hand not working again. In January of 2024, Citrus Heights received the 2.0 remodel, changing the exterior to a simplistic Rockstar exterior, painting all of the walls white, adding newer decor to replace older decor, and replacing the one stage with a 2021 model dance floor and video wall. The latest footage I could find comes from December 27th, 2023, where the bots look to be in good shape again, with no issues I can see. By 2024, the location would receive the trampoline zone, as every other location would. As of November of 2025, the location remains like this. As for the fate of the bots, all but one of the bots, I'm unsure which one that was, were saved, and are now in the hands of a private collector. In conclusion, Citrus Heights was quite the unique area, with both the Pizza Time Theater and ShowBiz Pizza Place having unique aspects to them, with the Pizza Time Theater being one of the first and having Cabaret Helen, and the ShowBiz getting Cyberamics and replacing their road stage so late in the stage's life. Overall, this was a fun area to go over. Thank you guys for watching this video. I think the thing that surprised me the most about this area was how late the second location got their one stage. It really is something that rarely ever happens, and when it does, it makes for quite the unique feature in a location. Anyways, my next video is going to be going over the history of Chuck E. Cheese in Florence, Kentucky. This location was home to one of the last rocker stages, and has some other cool traits to it as well, which we'll get into next week. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you're notified when it drops. If you want to find me elsewhere, I've got an Instagram page linked in the description down below. That's going to do it for now though, so God bless, and I hope you all have a blessed day.